Okay, so if you're a content creator in the UAE, or hey, even if you just run a business page online, things have seriously changed. We're going to break down exactly what these new ad rules mean for you, how you can stay on the right side of the law, and, most importantly, what you need to do, like right now. So think about your social media feed for a second. Maybe you just posted a story about this amazing cup of coffee you found. Or maybe you're a real estate agent and you've just shared a new villa that's for sale. I mean, that's just a normal, everyday post, right? Well, maybe not anymore. Because under brand new rules from the UAE Media Council, a whole bunch of what we post online could now be considered an official advertisement. And that means it falls under a totally new set of rules, and you're going to need a permit. And yeah, if you don't follow these rules, the consequences are pretty serious. We're talking a 10,000 dirham fine for publishing an ad without a permit. And believe me, that's just where it starts. So getting your head around these new rules isn't just a good idea, it's absolutely crucial if you're posting online here in the UAE. All right, so what's the magic ingredient that turns a regular post into a regulated ad? Well, it all boils down to this one simple idea: promotional intent. Let's get into what that actually means. Okay, the easiest way to wrap your head around this is something people are calling the chocolate bar rule. Imagine you post about a chocolate bar, or, any product. Even if you're not getting paid a single dirham for it, if you tag the brand or share a discount code or just talk it up in a way that makes people want to go out and buy it, guess what? You're promoting it, and that means you need a permit. The key takeaway here: getting paid is no longer the only thing that matters. And trust me, the scope of these rules is huge. I mean, a paid ad, of course that needs a permit, right? That's obvious. But what about an unpaid post where you just got a free gift or a sample? Yep, that needs a permit too. You share a discount code? That's an ad. All real estate marketing, whether you're paid or not, you guessed it, needs a permit. The bottom line is, if you are promoting anybody else's brand or service, you need to be licensed. Now, there is one big, important exception to all of this. If you have a trade license for your own business, let's say you're a baker or a consultant, you do not need another special permit to advertise your own stuff. Makes sense, right? These rules really only kick in the second you start talking about someone else's business. Okay, great. So you need a permit, but that's just step one. The next question is, what are you even allowed to say in your posts? See, this isn't just about getting a license. It's about following a really strict set of content standards that, by the way, apply to all media, ad or not. And this quote right here from the UAE Media Council, this is the foundation for everything. It's the North Star. The main idea is that all your content has to respect the culture, identity, and values of the UAE. So let's break down what that actually looks like day to day. So principle number one, and it's the big one: respect. This is the absolute bedrock of the new media standards, and it covers a lot of ground. Let's get specific. So what do you have to respect? Well, your content has to show respect for the divine entity and all monotheistic religions. It absolutely must respect the UAE system of governance, its symbols, and its institutions. You also have to honor the national identity and cultural heritage, protect the privacy of individuals, and, of course, do nothing that could harm national unity or social cohesion. Next up, principle number two. This one's simple. Just be honest. The whole point of these regulations is to cut down on misleading info and just make everything a bit more transparent online. So what does that mean for your posts? It means any claims you make have to be factual. You can't just throw around exaggerations like "this is the best in the world" without being able to back it up. You are now legally required to clearly disclose any kind of commercial relationship or payment, #ad or #sponsored. And finally, your ads have to be really clearly separated from your normal personal content. And that brings us to our third and final principle, which is all about public safety and morals. This covers all the stuff that's just straight up prohibited. Think of this as a list of hard no's. You absolutely cannot promote alcohol, tobacco, or narcotics. There can be zero content that incites violence, hatred, or crime. Nothing that violates public morals is allowed, and you must always respect children's rights. And it goes without saying you can't glorify any destructive ideologies. The goal here is pretty clear. Your content needs to be responsible and constructive. Okay, so we've covered the what and the why. Now let's talk about the how. How do you actually get this permit so you can operate legally? Well, the good news is the process is probably more straightforward than you think. To be eligible, you just need to check 3 boxes.
First, you have to be at least 18 years old. Second, you'll need a certificate of good standing, which basically just means you have a clean record. And third, you have to have a valid trade license.
The whole thing is basically a two-step process. Step 1, you need to get a trade license or update your current one to include the advertising management activity. The code for that is 732002. Once that's sorted, step 2 is to head over to the UAE Media Council's official website, uaemc.gov.ae, and apply for the Advertiser Permit. And now for some really, really good news. To help everyone get on board, the government has waived all the fees for this permit for the first 3 years, as long as you're a UAE resident. That's right, it's completely free to get compliant. That's a massive incentive to not put this off and just get it done now.
Whew, okay, we've covered a ton of ground. So to make sure it all sticks and to keep things simple, let's run through a final checklist to help you stay on the right side of the law.
First things first, the deadlines. You need to circle this on your calendar. You have until January 31st, 2026 to get registered and get your permit, because starting the very next day, February 1st, 2026, those 10,000 dirham fines kick in. Seriously, do not wait until the last minute on this. So here's your quick do's and don'ts checklist. On the do side, get your permit. Be super clear about disclosing paid partnerships, always respect UAE culture and values, and keep your ads separate from your personal content. And on the don't side, don't promote any of those prohibited things like alcohol or tobacco, don't make crazy exaggerated claims, and don't post false news or violate anyone's privacy. You know, all the core standards we just talked about. This is basically your cheat sheet for staying compliant. So when you take a step back and look at the big picture, what does this all mean for the future of content in the UAE? Well, it's a huge shift. We're definitely moving towards a much more professional and, well, regulated online world. And that really brings us to the big question, doesn't it? On one hand, you can see what the goal is, to build more trust, cut down on fake news, and protect people. But on the other hand, a lot of creators are probably wondering, will this stifle creativity and spontaneity? I think the goal is definitely to raise the bar for online content to make it more reliable. It's going to be fascinating to watch how the entire creative community adapts and, finds new ways to innovate within these